Hi everyone, we're here for episode 526 and I was quite inspired by my little rice bag that I made, and I'm really happy that we made it in an authentic Japanese style with some authentic old Japanese bits of material. But I also knew that I wanted to make some other bags, and I tried the origami bag earlier with volume 5 in Roxy's Journal of Stitchery. I felt that I did some embroidery, I used a thicker material, and it didn't quite lend itself to the type of easy make bag that I really was interested in. One that's a bit of slow stitch, one that's not too thick, all of that. So it's a great design, the origami bag, but this one somehow really spoke to me. Maybe it was just being in a workshop and with all the other women, and with Alison and Shuji giving us some wonderful instruction and support, that made me feel I wanted to make more. Now, I wanted to make some modern ones because I've had a couple of bits of material that have just been sitting waiting. The one thing I have is the waistcoat from some ancestor somewhere along the way back. So before I show you it, what I did was I made up some paper templates. Now, the size for the one we made at the workshop was this one. So the base was 6 by 6, and this is in inches, and the length of our bit of material that we could put all our pieces on was 7.5 by 24 inches, 19 by 61 centimetres. Now that's giving seam allowance on the two edges, so you do lose a bit of material on the edges, and also if you get all wonky at the base, you want to cut it straight, especially for the base. It doesn't matter so much for the top. So I felt that this size was a really cute and lovely size, but I wanted to attempt to make a smaller one, but also I wanted to make a slightly larger one. So I haven't got a smaller one cut out at all yet, but I've made the smaller one. I've made it 6.5 inches by, I've put 21 in, it should be 20 inches, but I've made it 21, so there's a bit more of a seam allowance. So base 5 by 5 inches. Now, I haven't tested that one out yet, so what I'm working on is a slightly larger size. So I've made the base first. So I've made it 7 inches by 7 inches. Then what I did was made just slightly deeper, so we've got bits to cut off, so 8.5, and then I've done the 7 times 4, which is 28 inches, and then hopefully there's a bit to cut off the side. But don't forget, on the base, when you're sewing your base in, you are actually creating a bit of a seam allowance, so your base becomes smaller. So anyway, they're my templates that I've made, and I'm just going to pin them up on the wall for further use at another time. So where I've got to, I had an old skirt that didn't fit, but I just love it because it's very watercolory, and it just had these bands, and I've been thinking that these are fabulous little, once that's sewn down, these are great little tabs. So they're a bit bigger, so they work with this bigger size. So I've got those cut out and waiting, so 8 of those. Now let me just go through all of the bits that I've got cut out. I've still got a bit of this left over from the workshop. Doesn't go with any of this. I have originally been thinking that this watercolor type of material is probably a lining, an inside. So here it is, it's beautiful. So I ended up, this is where I've got to. I have got that as a lining. I've got this material cut out as a lining. I've got a base that is a very thick cotton with the lining. So these will go together. These will go together. The white on the base, I could cut another thing. So you might want to have a little input here. So that's one. I've got a base which is green with this beautiful, it was just a cotton. And I have stitched it together to be long enough as a lining. So in actual fact, this will be the bottom of the lining. So it'll be like this, and this is what you would see on the inside of the bag. So once again, that also has just this white cotton as the base. So that can change. So I have created 2 lengths. Now remember I said I wanted to make a bag from whoever it was, great granny or grand auntie that made this. My mum can't remember actually, so now I'm starting to think maybe this was from the girl's auntie that passed away in the car accident. If anyone remembers the beautiful velvet patchwork quilt. This could actually have been made by Margot, and I just completely forgot that. So neither of the girls wanted it, and I just figured, you know what, make something that actually can be passed down but actually is sort of usable. So what I did was cut up bits of the patchwork, put it over this base, and some of these ready-made little, you know, they were parts of the jacket, of the vest. I've sort of put them in to add a bit of interest, to fill up areas that weren't, you know, had little gaps like here, cover a join. There was a join down here, so I've put another bit of this. And I've ended up putting another bit of the outer edge of the vest here to cover up that didn't cover up this entire bit here. And then I've left the buttons with the buttonholes and stitch them down so that this will stay, and this will be a feature on the outside of the bag. So that's my one that I've made. That first off I was thinking I was using this to line it, and then secondly I thought I was using this to line it. Now I feel that this is such a feature. Do I make it a reversible one? So do I put this in and it's soft enough to not clash? So that would be the lining. So imagine that's the top of the bag and you would see this is the lining inside. Or do I use this green? So it's a bit, I'm feeling like I wanted to keep it in a green family, but I'm feeling it might be a bit murky. Like this is a very different modern kind of design, and this is a very old paper piece, you know. I'm just feeling maybe it's not the right thing. But now because I really love this and I really love this, I'm actually thinking they're not linings at all. I just need some plain cotton so that this can be a feature, so that could be a feature on the outside. So this could be a feature on the outside. So I actually got myself a bit confused, but I wanted to use the little squares also. So I've just tacked down on one of the backgrounds. This is where I'm thinking, can it be a reversible bag? Could this be on the inside of this? And you could just reverse it. The only problem I have with that, so I'm sorry I'm thinking out loud a bit about this because it's in the process. If I make this a reversible bag for the inside of this, I just feel that this is very modern. Once again, it's like the green, it's very modern. I don't know. I'm not convinced that I've found the right lining for this backing. However, this might be a good lining for this. So remember, I'll just get the little squares. So remember I got these little packs of ready-made squares. Well, when I've put them 3 up on this size background, there's only 3 squares left. So I do have a thought that I might find a yellow and just do one long strip along here. So when the top of the bag is turned in, there's actually just a straight colour only along the very top. And then will this work or not? I mean, I love this so much, I almost want it outside the bag, but that could work if it's a reversible bag with this one and this one. Especially if there's a yellow that blends in with this and one of the colours along here, and it'll blend in. I hope it's making sense. This is my little behind the scenes thought process that I'm going through. So I'll show you. If this is like this, and this is the top edge of the bag. If I do it like this, then these are definitely the little tabs on this bag because they've got that material. Let me get one that folds over easily, or one that's cut. No, they're all, I've cut them all so there's enough to fold over. Let's put this like this. Now we just have to imagine that pins, they're out in the other room. Just have to imagine that this is all sewn down and tucked in, and this will be a tab in between, like here and here. That's what it'll be like on the inside. So if it's turned inside out, it'll be a fairly straight outside bag. And then on the inside, if there's another bit of material running along here. See, the other thing is that part of that actual pack, you know, they're a collection, so they all go together and there's all lights and darks. I nearly didn't want to put any of the darks in, but there's all these violets as well. So I'm feeling a little bit like I'm actually making 4 bags or something. I don't know. Because this up here could be a solid of this purple colour to bring that in and work, but then I don't think it goes with that. I think that ribbon is wonderful for this because that's the way that the skirt was, but doesn't necessarily, like, this is all supposed to be like bees and honey, and so this doesn't match for the concept. So I almost feel like I've got 1 bag, 2 bags, 3 bags, and a 4th bag with this and no linings. Almost. This definitely is too busy to go with this. I'm wiping that out. But these are absolutely perfectly ready to make little tabs from. So I do want to use them. So now, let's have a look at this. See, that goes with those really well. On the top anyway. It even goes. Let's have a look. Oh my goodness. I just went from 1 bag to 6 in one go. See, I think it goes with this little set. Goes really nicely with this set actually. Maybe I used the wrong set on my background. I do think that I got this one because it would go well with the bees. So I haven't come up with any answers here. I haven't got a conclusion, but that's where I'm up to with this. Now I've put these down like patchworks and I've only just done this, you know, just to get them down. They're staggered, they're not meant to be perfectly uniform. In a Japanese rice bag tradition, these would all be hand stitched, but probably because now it looks like I've got so many things on the go, I'm now wondering if I'm going to just do some zigzags and make it like a quilt with a colour up here. I really am actually quite drawn to this lilac and this yellow as a solid for this. So it is possible that I have to visit the shop for a solid bit of material for up here. The other thing I could do is stitch it all down, maybe have a bit of batting behind it and stitch it all down and then recut it to be the smaller size bag. So there isn't this top. I'm actually liking the idea of having a solid colour at the top and then and you know, and then the tabs. So I don't know if I want to go any further with this because I'll just be talking myself in circles. And I should just go and do some work, get on the machine, do a bit of stitching, lay them all out, see what I think. Definitely I'm enjoying this, I'm loving this. I love this particular blend of little squares. I'm not fussed about the fact that there's these little pinking sheer edges there. I quite like them. I'm happy for them to stay. I'm happy to do zigzaggy edges everywhere, all over the place, and make it unique and mine. This one, I know it's a family thing wherever it's from, so I don't like this horrible grey backing. I don't particularly like grey. I also know that whoever made it did a lot of these little vibrant sort of green edges, but I don't particularly like the idea of that as the full lining colour. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not one of my, I feel it would be a bit bright for the lining if you, I don't know, maybe it's not. Maybe I'm being a bit cautious there. Maybe it's actually the perfect lining for it. I prefer softer colours, so I'm not sure. I may in fact just have to go to the cotton section of Spotlight and see what I can find that will match. Just take it in. So I think my first job, everything, talking a lot about this and not doing actually any work, but that's what my episodes aren't really for, tutorials or for work, the actual work. So I'm going to hand stitch all of these bits down so I can get the pins off, and then I might go to the shop. Okay, I'm back, and I got the heater fixed in the garage studio, and I'm so happy. I've spent hours in here today prepping stuff, sorting stuff, because there's nothing worse than the Arctic chill to stop you doing things. So I thought I would show where I've gotten up to with these. I have sewing machine stitched all of this down on this one. I've tried to work out I don't mind that it's loosey-goosey. I don't mind it being a bit rough and ready. I've tried to work out this yellow here would probably work really well, and then that'll stitch over and be the band. But I was talking to Nora about it, and she said, why don't you put black? And I thought, oh, that's a bit dark. But then I turned it upside down and I thought, that works. The only thing is I did sort of angle the bees facing up this way a bit, so, but I'm looking, some of them aren't really so prescribed for the way up they are. They're just little snippets. So then I thought, I'm going to pop to Spotlight tomorrow, and I'm going to find a bit of plain cotton in this and that'll just be in the inside for the inner workings. I'm going to put along here, I'm going to keep it the same size, but I'm going to put a strip of black, so I'll just be getting, you know, a poly cotton or something like that, and then I'll make the base black. And so this one all of a sudden came together really nicely because the black will weight it down a bit, so it didn't matter so much on here because you've got so many different types, but the black base really works. So I'm not sure what that is. It's almost a denim. It's not thin like a cotton, but this is the lining, so I'm thinking of getting this purple in that, and I'll have to just source some of this black. Maybe it's a twill or something, but I think having a whole solid black base and then the bottom being in black, that is going to work, and then the purple is going to work. So I got very happy about that. So because now I've been busy, I've got a lot to talk about. I have stitched down all of these. This is meant to go this way up because this looks a little bit like, almost like a bow tie or something at the top. I'm still yet to work out. I know I made linings ready to go, but I am just not happy with them. So tomorrow is a visit to Spotlight with these two things and to source some material. Could be anything, but I just don't generally have a whole heap of cottony poly cotton sitting around, so I'm going to match, and hopefully there's a lady at the shop that's very kind and can help. So while I was making the honeybee one, I ordered a couple more Shashiko threads which just came in the mail, and I was hoping that this sort of mustard colour would work fairly well. I think it does, but I think the thing about the Shashiko thread is it's actually really nice having contrast. So that's a lot tanner than I was imagining in person. I thought it was going to be like, this is very red, my poncho, but it looks corally next to this, but here it looks very tanny. So none of those are right. Even that's not right. And I got it's a bit of a fairy floss one. That may possibly work in because it's got so many colours in it. It's got from, you know, these sorts of colours, purples, blues, yellows, yet to be seen. Probably tomorrow I'll wind them onto bobbins or something, so that's a bit easier. So they were from Nokability, Nokebility. There were a few different places, but they had a sale on, so I bought them while they were on sale. I've got a few other things in my cart. Just, there's only so much money you're supposed to spend. So there you go. So you notice I've got my mat down, and of course it is Junk Journal July. So I have been preparing, where is it? my little book. So there's 2 projects through July. So what I've done today is taken the pages out of this book, which I was going to use it as a doodly painty book, but I decided no, and I've put a bit of this old wallpaper, which was from Juanette. This is a book, Penicillin. So I've decided that this is going to be my junk journal for Junk Journal July. I don't know that I'll video it because the video every day is a bit much, and I don't know, I just sometimes when you're doing it on the daily, I look at some of it and go, oh, I was just rushing and I was just trying to get that done, so I got it done, and I'm not happy with the results. So I think what I'll be doing is posting on Instagram for these, and the same with these. So Ceri, C-E-R-I, Ceri the maker, I think, has started his first challenge, and he is doing a postcard a day through July. I will put the hashtag on the screen because I have just forgotten it. It's probably, I think the whole idea is it's to do with jelly printing, jelly plate printing, and I've been hankering to do some for quite a while, and as I say, my room has been just too cold and still too unorganised, but now that I can heat it up a bit, it gives me a little bit of inspiration to lift a few boxes, move a few things around. I've got to go out to Woodend and pick up my big wooden table, which actually has a pull-out leaf so it can be extended. You can go and look at Ceri's videos that he's made as a precursor to starting on the 1st of July if you're interested. So basically it's 31 days, so 31 postcards. So today I've been having such fun pulling all different bits of paper out and cutting the right sizes. I'm pretty sure I'm going to use my bindy tool, my spiral binding tool, to bind them at the end, which makes me realise I must remember to not put anything too crucial down here. But I've mixed it up, so I've got pages that I've had sitting in my stash from Juanette for ages and ages, and one of the things is they have to be 4 inches by 6 inches, and everyone has to have the date on, or a number, so obviously the date. So I've managed from some of these Tim Holtz papers to cut out with a number. So I like the idea that some of these have got backs, because I think when you're flipping through, when it's a little postcard book, it's going to be a bit fun. So I won't have all of them together, the same ones together. I'm going to mix them all up, but I'll try and get the numbers, like 6. There's a 6. I'm going to have to go through them on, I could make it a 9. Go through them all, but yeah. So I might have to make it a 4. There's no 40 in 31 days of July. There's a couple of numbers. But you know, there's blank on the back. I might use the front, I might use the back. And then I just cut up one manila folder just so I had enough because I was a bit short. And Tia from Calm Creations is doing this. Thanks, Tia. That's how I found out about it. These also, one of the rules is to do one a day. So I'm imagining every 3 or 4 days I may show them in a video, but most likely I'm going to be putting these on Instagram as well, and therefore my Facebook page. So that's where I'm up to. I'm not quite releasing this video yet, although I should, because I've talked about stuff that starts on the 1st, and maybe I'll do my best to get it out tomorrow and see how I go with that. So everyone has, you know, you can, if you want to make a junk journal July or postcards, jelly printing, jelly July, you can get onto it ahead of time. I'm always late to the table with this stuff, but I'm really excited to have so many projects on the go that I won't know what to do with myself. I like that. Anyway, I think maybe I'll end it here, and I will come back with my bags in another video so I can get this up and get you started if you want to do Junk Journal July with Meg, or if you want to do the Geli with Ceri and have a look at what Tia's doing. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to edit this tonight and get it up for tomorrow. So today's Friday, so you can hold me to it if it's not up on a Saturday. All right, well, I'm treating myself. I've ordered a capricciosa pizza tonight because why not? And I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.